Scammy Davis Jr. was in Vegas to take credit for no tax on tips and to drop this relatable little gem.
So Jimmy Kimmel just obliterated Trump's latest Vegas performance, and it perfectly captures everything wrong with this presidency. We're looking at a leader so disconnected from reality, he doesn't know what a corner store is, while his Iran policy crumbles in real time. Let's break this down.
Who the hell wrote that? I mean, of all the crazy things that have come out of his mouth, this is the one he scolds them for. And by the way, the man grew up in Queens. He's never heard of a corner store? Where did he think his servants were going to get his Twinkies every day?
This corner store moment is pure political gold because it strips away Trump's fake populist act. The guy who claims to fight for working Americans literally doesn't understand how normal people live. It's Marie Antoinette-level disconnect, and voters are finally seeing through it.
If you're watching, Mr. President, a corner store is a place where people who aren't billionaires go to buy the tequila that helps us forget you're running the country.
That tequila line hits hard because it's true. Trump's policies have made life measurably worse for regular Americans. Gas prices soaring, inflation crushing families, while he stages photo ops pretending to understand their struggles. The corner store gaffe reveals everything.
We are on week 8 of Trump's little excursion into the Middle East. On Friday, he announced that Iran agreed to everything and that the oil was flowing once again.
8 weeks of Middle East chaos proves Trump has zero foreign policy competence. His Friday victory lap about Iran was completely fabricated. Classic Trump declaring mission accomplished while the house burns down. This pattern of false announcements destroys American credibility globally.
Then on Saturday, Iran contradicted that moment of triumph, saying the strait was not open for business, it was closed for business, and that they had in no way agreed to hand over their uranium or any of the stuff.
Iran immediately contradicting Trump's claims shows how his lies have gutted American diplomatic power. When foreign adversaries can publicly embarrass the president with basic facts, our national security is compromised. This is exactly what competent leaders warned would happen.
Did you ever imagine you would be more likely to believe the Ayatollah than the President of the United States?
The credibility crisis is real. Polls show Americans trust foreign leaders more than Trump on international issues. When the Ayatollah seems more reliable than the president, our democratic institutions are fundamentally damaged. This isn't hyperbole, it's measurable decline.
Our whole lives, the Strait of Hormuz has been so wide open, we didn't even know it existed. We put Trump in charge, and in 8 weeks, it's been blocked more times than Melania's bedroom door.
The Strait of Hormuz has been stable for decades until Trump's reckless Iran policy destabilized the entire region. 20% of global oil passes through there. His incompetence is literally choking the world economy. Every gas price spike traces back to his failures.
And because things are going so swimmingly, yesterday Trump posted, Iran decided to fire bullets yesterday in the Strait of Hormuz, a total violation of our ceasefire agreement. Many of them were aimed at a French ship and a freighter from the United Kingdom.
Notice how Trump went from Iran agreed to everything to they're firing bullets in 48 hours. This whiplash messaging proves he has no coherent strategy. Foreign policy can't run on tweet storms and wishful thinking. Lives depend on consistency and competence.
I don't know which bothers me more, the fact that this unnecessary war is still dragging on, or that our president talks to us like we're in pre-K. But we are offering a very fair and reasonable deal, and I hope they take it, because if they don't, the U.S. is going to knock out every single power plant and every single bridge in Iran.
Both critiques are devastating because they're true. Trump talks like he's addressing kindergartners while escalating toward nuclear war. His threat to destroy every bridge and power plant in Iran is exactly the reckless rhetoric that got us into this mess.
He said Iran agreed to everything. The strait is open. Gas prices are coming down. Today, the strait's closed. He's back to threatening annihilation, and the price of gas is as high as half of our audience here right now.
This contradiction cycle is Trump's presidency in miniature. Promise everything, deliver chaos, blame others. Americans are paying $5 per gallon because he can't maintain basic diplomatic relationships. His foreign policy incompetence hits voters' wallets directly.
The Wall Street Journal ran quite a story this weekend that said Trump was so worked up about the 2 downed pilots who were rescued and the possibility that it could hurt him politically if they were taken hostage. His aides had to keep him out of the room while they were getting updates on the situation.
That Wall Street Journal reporting is terrifying because it shows Trump prioritizing politics over American lives during active rescue operations. When military personnel are in danger, the commander-in-chief should be focused on their safety, not his poll numbers.
At one point, they handed him an iPad and said, sit down, be quiet, make some pictures of you as Jesus.
The iPad anecdote perfectly captures Trump's unfitness for crisis management. While American pilots faced life-or-death situations, aides had to distract him like a toddler having a tantrum. This is who's supposed to lead during national emergencies.
The same story says Trump also floated the idea of giving himself the Congressional Medal of Honor, which is the highest of all the military honors.
The Medal of Honor goes to warriors who risk everything for others, often posthumously. Trump wanting to give it to himself for routine presidential travel shows stunning narcissism and complete disrespect for genuine military heroism. It's deeply offensive to veterans.
According to those who were there, Trump believes he deserves the Medal of Honor because his plane flew into Iraq on an unlit runway during a first-term trip to visit troops.
Real Medal of Honor recipients threw themselves on grenades or charged machine gun nests to save their units. Trump thinks flying on Air Force One, with full security and military escort, deserves the same recognition. The delusion is breathtaking.
Well, if that's all it takes, anyone who ever flew into Newark deserves the Medal of Honor.
That Newark joke lands because it highlights the absurdity perfectly. If presidential air travel deserves military honors, then millions of Americans are war heroes. Trump literally cannot distinguish between luxury and sacrifice. It's clinical-level narcissism.
He is currently on the outs with some of his formerly biggest fans. Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Alex Jones, Candace Owens are all mad at His Majesty.
When Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, and Alex Jones turn against you, that's political death for a Republican. These were Trump's most loyal media defenders. Losing them means his base is cracking. Even conservative media can't spin this level of chaos anymore.
He mocked him for his bogus Jesus excuse, his vile comments about Rob Reiner, and that is a problem for Donald Trump because a lot of people listen closely to what Joe Rogan has to say.
Joe Rogan reaches 50 million listeners monthly, mostly young men Trump needs to win. When Rogan calls out Trump's Jesus pandering and attacks on Hollywood liberals, it signals a massive shift in how conservative influencers view this presidency.
So Joe Rogan sends Trump information about a promising psychedelic drug he knows about, and Trump rubber stamps this like it's a parking validation.
This psychedelic drug story reveals Trump's dangerous impulsiveness on public health policy. He rubber stamps medical decisions based on podcast recommendations, while his FDA struggles with basic regulatory oversight. It's government by whim, not science.
Weren't you guys all freaking out when the FDA released the COVID vaccine that quick? Joe, while you're at it, could you ask him to release the rest of the Trump Epstein files that quick?
The vaccine approval hypocrisy is perfect. Conservatives screamed about FDA rushing COVID vaccines, but now cheer Trump fast-tracking drugs based on Joe Rogan's advice. And yes, those Epstein files would show us exactly who Trump really protected all these years.
They said Kash Patel was so worried about getting the axe. When he had an issue logging onto his computer 10 days ago, he thought he'd been locked out and panicked. He started frantically calling aides to announce that he'd been fired, according to 9 people familiar with this outreach.
Kash Patel's paranoid meltdown over a computer login shows the dysfunction Trump brought to the FBI. When your FBI director panics over basic IT issues and frantically calls aides thinking he's been fired, national security suffers. This is institutional breakdown.
But the story says he has become known for bouts of excessive drinking and unexplained absences, so much so that on multiple occasions in the past year, members of his security detail had difficulty waking him because he was seemingly intoxicated.
An FBI director too intoxicated for his security detail to wake up is a national security nightmare. This isn't gossip. It's about protecting America from threats while our top law enforcement official is incapacitated. Trump's judgment in appointments is catastrophically bad.
You know you have a problem when SEAL Team 6 shows up to do a wellness check.
When SEAL Team 6 has to check if the FBI director is alive, we've crossed into Banana Republic territory. This isn't normal government dysfunction. It's complete institutional collapse under Trump's watch. America deserves competent leadership, not this circus.
We all thought Pete Hegseth was the Trump poster boy for drinking too much. All of a sudden, Kash is like, hold my beer and my martini while you're at it.
The pattern is clear. Pete Hegseth's drinking problems, Kash Patel's apparent alcoholism, multiple cabinet picks with substance issues. Trump consistently chooses personal loyalty over competence, and America pays the price through broken institutions and failed leadership.
Which do you think will last longer, Kash Patel as head of the FBI or the bananas I bought at Trader Joe's yesterday?
Those Trader Joe's bananas will definitely outlast Patel as FBI director. Trump's revolving door of incompetent appointees has turned crucial government agencies into laughingstocks. When our institutions become punchlines, our democracy is in serious danger.